Just a few days ago, the Chief Minister of Punjab, Bhagwant Mann, was sworn in a grand ceremony in Khatkar Kalan, which is the ancestral village of legendary freedom fighter Bhagat Singh. Bhagwant Mann there present on the dais as his Council of Ministers are being sworn in. The Aam Aadmi Party, in fact, swept to a landslide victory on March 10th in Punjab. They have 92 members in the Legislative Assembly. The opposition in Punjab virtually having been wiped out in the 117-member strong Legislative Assembly of Punjab.
मैं ਹੁਣ ਮਾਨਯੋਗ ਰਾਜਪਾਲ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਬਲਜੀਤ ਕੌਰ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਕੈਬਨਿਟ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਦੇ ਅਹੁਦੇ ਅਤੇ ਭੇਤ ਗੁਪਤ ਰੱਖਣ ਦੀ ਸਹੁੰ ਚੁਕਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾਲਤਾ ਕਰਨ।
मैं डॉक्टर बलजीत कौर
ईश्वर की सौं चुकती हाँ कि मैं कानून द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा।
Sandhu is now joining me on the phone line. Kamaljeet, take us through this swearing-in ceremony. What does the composition of the new cabinet in Punjab looks like?
Well, this is going to be a litmus test as far as Bhagwant Mann's cabinet is concerned. Remember, they're saying historic decisions will be taken. A helpline number has been issued. But out of the 17, 10 ministers are taking oath today. At least 2 are the old-timers. So we see Harpal Chima very much present there. He's also a Dalit face. We see a woman now currently taking oath. So that is also very significant. But Malwa has a major compromise. So at least 5 of them belong to the Malwa region. Remember, this is where the Aam Aadmi Party had a major sweep. The others are obviously, the rest of the segment, 4 are from Majha and 1 is from Doaba. So they have tried to diversify even as far as the regions are concerned. But clearly, there are names which are obviously there. However, let me see, the giant slayers as such, we didn't see Jeevan Jyot Kaur. We don't know whether in the second expansion she would be there, who had defeated Bikram Singh Majithia as well as Navjot Singh Sidhu. Then there are the others. So clearly, the names have come up mostly on the national scene. People wouldn't recognize because there are only 2 faces. One is Bhagwant Mann as well as Harpal Chima, who are very much known. But when we look at, say, Dr. Baljeet Kaur, who is from the constituency of Malot, then there are the others who are obviously in that particular frame. These are very, very important decisions being made. Remember, the cabinet is expected to take place in the afternoon, and we will see whether there would be a major historic decision. But at this point of time, the cabinet and the first cabinet taking place, and we do expect in a week's time, there would be a second with the other 6 names being announced.
Right. Kamaljeet, thank you so much for bringing us all of those details. So 10 ministers being sworn in Punjab as we speak. Those visuals on your screen. We're slipping into a very short break right now and leaving you with these images of the destruction, the devastation that Ukrainian cities are facing as a result of the Russian invasion. Details on that on the other side of this break.
Crypto Watch brought to you by BitBNS.
As Russia declared war on Ukraine, as the world was plunged again into crisis, with the only Indian team in the real war zone.
This is Mariupol. You hear a series. Hear this sound.
I will show you a quick, so to say, bombshell room tour.
I can smell the gunpowder in the air.
And without pause, India Today totally dominates viewership and smashes the competition. When it's the world's biggest news story, there's only one gold standard of journalism.
Ransomware is a type of malicious software used by cyber criminals to extort money from internet users. The equivalent of a hold-up in cyberspace, ransomware takes the victim's computer hostage by encrypting data stored on the hard drive, as well as any external drives and USB keys connected to the computer at the time of the attack. Hackers then demand a ransom in exchange for the encryption key. Without the key, the data is lost. Payment is generally made in bitcoins, an untraceable digital currency which allows the culprit to remain anonymous. In February 2016, a Los Angeles hospital paid $17,000 in bitcoins to hackers who took control of its computers for more than a week. Ransomware can enter a system when users open an infected email attachment, click on a link, or browse a website which has been hacked. There are several steps you can take to stay safe online. Be cautious when opening email attachments and clicking on links. Avoid suspicious websites. Don't give out personal or financial details unless you're on a secure site or trust the person. Use a firewall and updated antivirus software. Create strong passwords, which are long and difficult to guess, and back up important information on external drives which are not connected to the computer.
You are watching India Today.
Hundreds of cows risk being slaughtered in Italy due to the conflict in Ukraine, which is a major global supplier of animal feed, stocks of which are falling fast across the import-reliant southern Europe. More details in this next report.
It may be on the other side of the continent, but Italy's agriculture industry is also feeling the effects of the conflict in Ukraine. Ukraine is a major global supplier of animal feed, stocks of which are falling fast across import-reliant southern Europe. The Italian livestock farmers' body Asalzu warned that hundreds of cows now risk being slaughtered, as stocks of raw materials used to produce fodder may only last for another month. Acting President Michele Liverini said if dairy cows were slaughtered, it would take years to produce milk again.
Nel caso delle vacche da latte, se noi interrompiamo e mandiamo alla macerazione vacche da latte, ci vorranno.
In the case of dairy cows, if we stop and send dairy cows to slaughter, it will take 7 to 8 years to rebuild a barn to produce milk again. The problem is very serious. It has to be analyzed by all of us in the chain, from the large-scale retail trade to the farms, cereal growers, and importers. We must have a role of responsibility at this time, and we must bring an increase to the end customer, to the housewife, to the family. But at least assure them of the food. We cannot do it any other way.
Sulla famiglia, però quantomeno assicurargli le derrate alimentari, diversamente non siamo in grado di fare.
Pietro Fusco is the chief executive of milk producer Cirio Agricola in southern Italy. He says the conflict has exacerbated an already difficult time.
Il conflitto ucraino-russo è subentrato a un periodo già di stress per noi che deriva dai 2 anni abbondanti di pandemia.
The Ukrainian-Russian conflict has taken over from an already stressful period for us after 2 long pandemic years, which had already put a strain on business management. We currently have problems with the purchase of feed for the animals. Above all, there is also